roar of October rain, I arrived at a neighborhood of my past, summoned here by the ghost of someone who had never been the least bit spectral. Joe, how are you?
You're looking richer than you used to.
And you are still keeping Tom's in business, I see.
Got him on.
Blue sans change.
What's that supposed to be, French?
No, just pretend.
Congratulations, then, on changing, I guess.
And to you, my friend, for staying safe. Well, I have blunderbussed my way through this typhoon.
Yeah, I wouldn't have got you over here if it wasn't something very peculiar has happened.
You heard of our holiday.
Thing is, I don't know.
Joe.
That's to say, I want your opinion. You recall a certain Mr. Iwa Yunioshi, gentleman from Japan.
California.
Don't go mixing me up. You know what?
I do. Our brownstone neighbor. A photographer of some note and the building's most distinguished resident.
Okay, so last night, who comes waltzing in here but the self-same Mr. Iwa Yunioshi? I haven't seen him, I guess it's over 2 years. And where do you think he's been these past 2 years?
Africa. I read it in Winchell. Didn't you read it in Winchell?
Did you read this in Winchell?
What am I looking at here, Joe?
Stop looking at the man in the skirt. Focus on the wood carving.
It's Holly. Unmistakably Holly Golightly.
Now, what do you make of that?
Well, it looks like her, sure.
Listen, boy, it is her. Sure as I'm a man fit to wear breeches. The Jap knew it was her the minute he saw her.
He saw her in Africa?
The statue. It comes to the same thing. Here, read the facts for yourself.
Wood carving, S tribe to Cokel, East Anglia, Christmas Day, 1956.
He was there. The Jap.
In Takoko, a village of mud flats and buzzards on roofs and of no interest. I decided to move on when I saw one fellow, that fellow, squatting before his hut with the wood carvings. They were striking. I expected artist to artist, and then I saw this one.
And then he saw this
I
one.
felt like I was falling in a dream.
He tried to barter.
$10 and a pound of salt. $20 and a pound of salt.
He was onto something. Saved the statue because that's all you're going to be able to hang on to.
Finally, for a sum of money and a weight of salt, he got not the carving, but its story.
One day, 3 white people came riding out of the bush. 2 men and a girl. The men, both red-eyed with fever, were forced to stay shut and shivering in an isolated hut. While the young woman, presently having taken a fancy to the woodcarver, shared his mat.
I don't credit that part. I know she had her ways, but I don't think she'd be up to anything as much as that. And then,
She went as she came.
Rode away on a horse.
alone or with the men?
Holly Golightly?
With the 2 men, I guess.
I asked about her up and down the country. Nobody else had ever seen her. She vanished. Holly Golightly, gone.
Ah. So that's all then?
Well, one thing you gotta admit, it's the only definite news, and I don't know how many years. Well, I hope she's rich. She must be rich. You gotta be rich to go mucking around in Africa.
I bet she's never set foot in Africa.
You know so much, where is she?
Dead? Or in a crazy house? Or married? You know, I think that she is married and quieted down. And maybe right in the city.
No, I'll tell you what. You take a man like me, a man's been walking in these streets going on 10, 12 years, and all those years he's got his eye out for one person, and nobody's ever heard. Don't it stand to reason she's not there? I see pieces of her all the time. Flat little bottom, any skinny girl that walks fast and straight. You think I'm round the bend?
No, I just didn't know that you'd been in love with her.
Drinks on the house.
It was good to see you, Joe.
Hold on. Sure. I loved her. But it wasn't that I wanted to touch her. I'm crazy. I knew how it was. But you can love someone without it being like that. You just think them a stranger. A stranger who's a friend. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You believe it? About Africa?
Anyway, she's gone. It was my room. My first. None such of a spade. But in the days when this brownstone was a single-family dwelling, it's where they domiciled a specially despised film genre. Oh, it was filled with old furniture of that itchy particular red fabric one associates with long rides on hot trains. The wallpaper was geologic with age, and there was a pattern of water damage on the ceiling above my bed that, on dissolute evenings, I was certain depicted the Shroud of Turin. Needless to say, I adored it. You've already met Mr. Yunioshi, soon to be distinguished. Also in residence was Madame Sophia Spinella, who roller skated daily in Central Park and was a flattish contralto given to referring to
My daily duties at the Metropolitan Opera.
which was spent exclusively in the cheap seats. She was a fraud and a prig and a troublemaker. Now, there were others whom you won't meet and who don't matter. And there was Holly, whose hours were different from my sedulous ones, and who for frustrating weeks I knew only as a rather elegantly printed card in a mailbox slot. Miss Holiday Golightly. Traveling. Miss Holiday Golightly, traveling. How I wondered. Miss Golightly!
I must protest.
Oh, darling, I am sorry. I lost the goddamn key.
You cannot go on ringing my bell. You must please have yourself a key made.
But I lose them all.
I work. I have to sleep. But you are always ringing my bell. I cannot.
Don't scold me, you dear little man. I won't do it again. And if you promise not to be angry, I might let you take those pictures you mentioned.
When?
Soon.
Anytime.
Bless you, darling. You are sweet to see me home.
Hey! Hey!
Yes, Harry.
No, Harry was the other guy. I'm Sid. Sid Arbach. You like me.
I worship you, Mr. Arbach. But good night, Mr. Arbach.
Hey! Hey! Let me in, baby! You like me, baby! I'm a light guy! Did I pick up the check? 5 people! Your friends! I never saw any of them!
Mr. Arbach,
Yeah?
the next time a girl asks for a little powder room change, take my advice, darling. Don't give her 20 cents.
She kept her word to Mr. Yunioshi and took to buzzing my door instead. Midnight, 4, 5, and I, like some mentally defective lab rat in the Pavlov experiment, responded faithfully, despite the absence of any evident reward. What the?
Oh, darling, not so loud.
Oh.
I've got the most terrifying man downstairs. I mean, he's sweet when he isn't drunk, but let him start lapping up the vino, and oh God, he'll beast. If there's one thing I loathe, it's men who bite. Oh, I'm sorry if I frightened you, but that fire escape was damned icy, and you looked so cozy, like my brother Fred. We used to sleep 4 to bed, and he was the only one who ever let me hug him on a cold night. By the way, do you mind if I call you Fred? I suppose you think I'm very brazen or trade fool or something.
Not at all.
Yes, you do. Everybody does. I don't mind. It's useful. Is this where you live?
Yes.
How can you bear it? It's a chamber of horrors.
Oh, we get used to anything.
I don't. Anybody that does, they might as well be dead. Well, it looks as though I'm here for the duration, so we ought to converse.
You're Miss Holiday Golightly.
Only to my creditors.
I
don't need it. I don't have creditors. I'm cash only. What I mean is you'll call me Holly.
and you can call me.
Friend. Yes, I know. I've already started. On second look, well, this place would be quite such a dungeon if you threw it up there. Have you given any thought?
I think of nothing else.
Oh, I'm so glad. What have you come up with?
There's a bird cage in that antique store around the corner that I'm thinking.
I don't like but things in cages.
Oh, there's nothing in the cage. The cage itself is the attraction. It's all locks and minarets and bamboo rooms.
We'll buy it then.
I'm planning to. It's $350, but I expect to make that easily
Gorgeous.
over the next 6 or 7 years.
You actually are. Poor, not just play acting. Hell trees. Well, you're not the type anyway. Oh, pretty though you are, the eyes are the giveaway. Tell me, what do you do all day so prettily in this atelier?
Did you just break into my apartment? I write things.
Do you? Oh, maybe you'll write about me. Lots of people have or mean to. And it might be a marvelous subject.
No, I don't think so.
Don't be rude.
No. It's just that I only write about the past.
No such place. What do you write about in this past of yours?
Things I've lost that are gone.
That'll be me soon enough. I've never been to bed with a writer.
What a thing.
No, wait, do you know Betty Shackley? That's funny. He's written an awful lot of radio stuff, but kill rat. Tell me, are you a real writer?
Of course. What do you mean?
I mean, does anybody buy what you write?
Oh, well, I'm new. No. I'm sending out a group of my stories
Enclose
this
your
week, and I
photograph.
say what?
Your photograph, enclose it.
Is that done?
In your case, yes. Oh, I'm going to help you, and I can too. Think of all the people I know who know people. Oh, I'm going to help you because you look like my brother Fred. Only smaller. I haven't seen him since I was 14. That's when I left home, and he was already 6'4". Oh, it was the peanut butter that made Fred so tall. Everybody thought it was just Dottie the way he gorged himself on it, but he wasn't Dottie. He was sweet and vague and terribly slow. He'd been in the 8th grade 3 years when I ran away. I wonder if the army's generous with that. Oh, which reminds me, I'm starving. Oh, you don't mind.
How did you come to leave home so young? How did you come to leave home so young? I ask because it's the age when we don't like to leave home, but most of us have the gumption, so...
Tell me something you've written. The story part.
Well, they're not the kind of stories you can tell.
Too dirty.
No, is it too dirty? No, maybe I will let you read one sometime.
This apple needs a chaser. Fix me a drink, darling, and you can read me a story yourself.
Very few authors, especially the unpublished, can resist an invitation to read aloud. It was a story that I finished the day before. I remember little about it. Count your blessings. But it dealt with 2 women school teachers who were touched by the breath of scandal, and events transpired. It featured phrases like the scent of strong black coffee in pewter cups, and the immemorial crackle of burning leaves, and a sorrow for which no name had yet been devised. And then it was over.
Oh, is that the end?
Why wouldn't it be?
Of course, I like dykes themselves. They don't scare me a bit. But stories about dykes bore the bejesus out of me. I just can't put myself in their shoes. Oh, incidentally, do you know any nice lesbians? I'm looking for a roommate. No drama, really. They make wonderful moments. You never have to worry about bruise or defrosting or setting out the laundry. Oh, I had a dyke roommate in Hollywood. We called her the Lone Ranger. And of course, everybody couldn't help but think I was a dyke myself, but then I am. Everybody is a bit, so what?
It's not about dykes.
Oh. Well, then what is it about? That clock lies. Oh, it's not 4:30. It can't be. Is this Thursday?
Yes.
How?
As anyone who'd been really listening could tell, it's about what happened. What is gruesome about Thursday?
Well, nothing except that I can never remember when it's coming. You see, on Thursdays I have to catch the 8:45. I've got to stay awake. Well, there isn't time to sleep. I look consumptive. I'd sag like a tenement, and that wouldn't be fair. A girl can't go to Sing Sing with a green face.
God, no, not with their standards.
If I'm keeping you awake, you go to sleep.
No, please. Why do you go?
No! Oh, no, I'm not going to tell you about Sally. That would be cricket. Of course, they never told me not to tell anyone. In so many words. You could put it in a story with different names and whatnot.
I told you, I don't write about
Don't be dreary. All right, then. Out of my devotion to your career. His name is Sally Tomato. And I speak Yiddish better than he speaks English, but he's a darling old man, terribly pious. He looked like a monk if it went for the gold teeth. Anyway, he saw me in Joe Bell's before Sing Sing and just couldn't shake the vision. So he sent his lawyer to get me. Mr. O'Shaughnessy, that's the lawyer, asked me how I'd like to cheer up a lonely old man at the same time as pick up 100 a week. I told him, look, darling, you've got the wrong Miss Golightly. I'm not a nurse that does tricks on the side. I wasn't that impressed by the honorarium either. But you can do just as well on trips to the powder room. Any gent with the slightest cheek will offer you 50 for the girls' John, and I always ask for cab fare too. That's another 50. But then he told me that his client was Sally Tomato, and he said, dear old Sally had always admired me a la distance. So wouldn't it be a good deed if I went to go visit him once a week? Oh, well, I couldn't say no. It was too romantic.
And all you do is converse.
Right.
They don't let just anyone visit prisoners.
Oh, I know that, darling. I say his niece. It's all in the up and up. Listen, I leave the weather report, and Mr. O'Shaughnessy mails me 100 cash.
What's the weather report?
Oh, just messages I leave for the answering service. So Mr. O'Shaughnessy will know for sure I've been there. Sally tells me things to say, things like, oh, there's a hurricane in Cuba. Oh, it's snowing in Berlin. Oh, don't worry, darling. It's all perfectly kosher. I've been taking care of myself for a very long time. Oh, I'm all in. Oh, you don't mind? I only want to rest a moment, so don't let's say another word. Go to sleep.
It was for nights like this that I'd come to New York.
Well, Fred? Where are you, Fred? Because it's snowing and snow in the wind.
Hey, why are you crying?
God's sake!
Hey, Holly. Hey, I hope I haven't said anything.
I hate Snoop!
Holly!
Bless you, darling Fred. Please forgive the other night. You were angel about the whole thing. Mille tendresse, Holly. P.S. I won't bother you again.
Please do. And she vanished from my life.
Very impressive, your stories. Why aren't you drinking more?
I don't drink much.
I gotta get my licks in town. Back in Darien, The wife has me on a 3-drink limit. Can you imagine? Wife, 3 daughters. I'm surrounded. Do you know that female fume?
No.
Well, you will. Your prose, though, that orchidaceous sonnet.
Thank you very much.
A sorrow for which no name has yet been devised, haunting.
I'm so glad.
Of course. At the houses, we're all playing the waiting game. It's all about who comes back from the war, gets to be the next Stephen Crane. I don't suppose we can expect a war novel from you.
I'm more concerned with the interiors of things, the spiritual.
Love the photo, by the way. Evocative Poe, unique, the photographer.
Someone I met and did a favor for, and in return.
You married?
No,
Girlfriend?
not at the moment.
Pretty girlfriend is a good thing for an author to have. They go over well at parties.
I see. Well, there are girls that I'm interested in.
I expect we'll be seeing you at lots of parties.
Well, I hope so.
Shake on that.
My God.
I've got to go to the John. John is in that direction, in case you have an urgent need.
My.
My, indeed.
Yeah,
Funny we knew here.
isn't it?
What with us living only a few vertical yards apart and never seeing each other at all? I've lamented your absence.
Darling, lamented, have you?
Where have you been?
Out and about. You're certainly keeping distingué company.
Oh, do you recognize him?
Mon ange, I'm not moss. I mean, I don't live under a rock.
I sent him a couple of my stories this week.
Did you enclose a photo?
I was told that that was standard practice.
Whatever works, darling, don't lie.
Anyway, he quite liked them. The stories, that
And
is.
who wouldn't? I haven't been able to get that one you read me out of my mind. It rattled me.
You were bored silly.
Delayed reaction, darling. I am positively trailed by it. A sorrow for which no name had yet been devised. La condition humaine.
Yes. And who are your friends?
That's the awful thing. I haven't got it. I'm unutterably alone.
The gentleman at the table, I mean.
Oh, these. Quelle hilarité, I forgot they were there. Mr. Luce, Mr. Rockefeller, Fred.
You are keeping rather swank company yourself.
Oh, it's always the same. Old money, sour breath. Beats evening.
Isn't it strange?
So very.
All of it.
Yes.
Do you think it means something that we've run into each other here in this citadel?
Do you?
I might. If I was still young and credulous enough to believe in fate.
You have such pretty eyes.
Holly.
Say, Fred, what do you say we ditch these plutocrats and hie ourselves to Longchamp and eat chess pie and swill bootleg sushi, stumble through the streets in an ecstasy of alcohol, and get run over by a couple of taxi cabs, stagger home in the wee small hours of some far-flung morning, and fall into bed like that night, that magical night, and tell each other our very most secret lies. Wouldn't you like it? Wouldn't it save us?
Except she didn't see me. Those dark glasses had concrete panes. Now I wonder, if she had been a regular neighbor, and the kind that drops by daily for a coffee and a chin wag, would I have even given her a thought? Doesn't matter. It wasn't the case. Holly became a chronic absence. I tried changing my hours to conform to hers. Woo, no dice. I found myself rooting through the trash basket outside her door. There were tabloids and travel folders and astrological charts and V letters by the baleful, torn in little strips like bookmarks, though I've read them like books. These are the words that recurred. Remember, and miss you, and rain, please write, and damn, and goddamn, and lonesome, and love. And angling my body so as not to be seen, I one day saw this.
I am a traveling creature, traveling through this land. Today I am a warning to woman and man. Mother, hold my hand, hold up my dying day. I met a simple woman in a faraway distant land. She come to me a weeping. She give to me her hand. Mother, hold my hand, hold up my dying day. I ask that simple woman should ever try to pray. She said I did this morning, but the spirit did delay. Mother, hold my hand, hold up my dying day.
Hey, you are a nice young man. Save yourself from her.
Oh, skate somewhere.
I'm not wearing skates. I do not skate when I'm saving lives.
Just a reminder, tomorrow is Thursday. Your neighbor Fred.
Bless you for reminding me. Can you stop by for a drink tonight? 6-ish?
Yes, I can.
How do? Kids in the shower. You expect it?
Oh, then there are to be others? Yes, I am expecting others.
A lot of characters come here they're not expected. You know the kid long?
Not very.
So you don't know the kid long.
I live upstairs,
You got the same layout.
much smaller. Is this thing to be a party?
This is a dump. This is unbelievable. But the kid don't know how to live even when she's got the dough. So what do you think, itchy or itchy?
Ain't she what?
A phony.
I wouldn't have thought so.
You're wrong, she is a phony. But on the other hand, you're right. She isn't a phony, because she's a real phony. She believes all this crap she believes. You can't talk her out of it. I cried with tears running down my cheeks. Benny Poland respected everywhere. Benny Poland tried. Benny had it on his mind to marry her. She don't go for it. Benny spent maybe thousands sending her to head triggers. That famous one, the one that speaks only German, boy did he throw in the towel. Mind you, I like the kid. Everybody does. But there's lots that don't. Truth is, you can beat your brains out for her. She'll hand you horse shit on a platter. To give you an example, who was she like you see her today? She's strictly one of those girls you'll read who ends up at the bottom of a bottle of second halls. Yeah, I've seen it happen more times than you got toes. Those kids, they weren't even nuts. She's nuts.
But
A couple of years back out on the coast, it could have been different. I know, see? Because I'm the one giving her the push. O.J. Berman. Yeah, I'm the first one who's seen her. Out at Santa Anita. She's stylish. She's okay. She comes across. Even when she's wearing glasses this thick. Even when she opens her mouth, you can't tell if she's an Okie or a hillbilly or what. I still don't know. My guess, no one will ever know where she come from. She's such a goddamn liar, she probably doesn't even know herself anymore. But it took us a year to smooth out that accent. How we did it finally? We give her French lessons. Yeah. After she could imitate French, it wasn't so long she could imitate English. Now she sounds English, like Hollywood, like everybody. It's good. People are interested, big ones. And to top it off, Benny Poland, a respected guy. Benny Poland wants to marry her. An agent could ask for more, then whale. The story of Dr. Wassel. You see that picture? That's Cecil B. DeMille, Gary Cooper. Jesus, I kill myself. Oh, it's all set. They're going to test her for the role of Dr. Wassel's nurse. One of his nurses, anyway. Then when? The phone rings. This is Holly. I say, honey, you sound far away. She says, I'm in New York. I say, what the hell you doing in New York? It's Sunday. You got a test tomorrow. She says, I'm in New York because I've never been in New York. I say, get your ass. She says, I don't want it. I say, what's your angle, doll? She says, you gotta want it to be good, and I don't want it. I say, what the hell do you want? She says, when I find out, you'll be the first to know. See what I mean? Horse shit on a platter. This is what she wants. A bunch of characters come here unexpected, living off tips, running around with bums. So maybe she can marry Rusty Trawler. You should give her a medal for that.
who is that, Rusty Trawler?
You don't know Rusty Trawler. You can't know that much about the kid. Bad deal. I was hoping maybe you had some influence on him. Could level with the kid before it's too late.
You said it already is.
I said I could get him rolling again. I sincerely like the kid.
Oh, good. You two have met. OJ, Fred, pure read a genius writer. Fred, talk to OJ. You can do the power of good. You two make a contract. If anyone rings, let them in.
So, there are to be others?
What? You thought it was just you and me and her? I don't go that way. Neither does the kid, last I heard.
So it's a party.
I think a small gathering.
Enter the population of Manhattan. It was one of those louche New York parties that I've come to know so well. The best kind, where the guests might even leave arrive by taxi or Black Mariah. Madame Spinella entered a brief protest.
Listen, I was downtown. There was an article.
I will call the housing board. I will call the gendarmes. I must practice my skills. Cha!
As yet unused to this caliber of noise, I found myself gravitating toward a place of relative spaciousness. Molly's bookshelf, on which I found exactly one volume, the baseball guide. Curiously, from inside the baseball guide fell a veritable scrapbook of clippings devoted chiefly to the aforementioned Rusty Trawler.
Now the party's starting!
Incredibly, this was Rusty Trawler, this anthropoid, this pickling.
Rusty, help the captain to a refill, would you?
Yep, darling, yep. Anything for you, yep.
According to my research, he'd been a tabloid sensation, orphaned by 5, father killed by an anarchist, mother died of shock, guardian fiddled scandalously with his privates, married 4 times, divorced 4 times. Oh, his last wife incited a mutiny on his yacht that left him stranded on the dry Tortugas, making her my favorite among his wives.
You know what really stinks about this war? You can't get a goddamn taxi cab! Yeah!
Rusty, this gentleman's cup is dry.
Winchell repeatedly referred to him as a Nazi, chiefly because he was, a Nazi. I found out that the cab that it had been so hard for him to obtain had borne him from a meeting in the environs of 92nd Street. Heil.
Admiring my publicity, or are you just a baseball fan?
What was this week's weather report?
Nix on that, darling. I loathe baseball, but there's so few things men can talk about. How are you making out with other people?
We have separated by mutual agreement.
Speaking of help you.
Sequel to Dr. Wassell's in the works, isn't it?
Still harping. Oh, well, he's got a point. I should feel guilty. I let him go on dreaming when I wasn't dreaming of this. I was just vamping for time to make a few self-improvements. I knew damn well I'd never be a movie star. My complex are inferior enough. I don't mean I mind being rich and famous. That's very much on my schedule, and someday I'll try to get around to it. But if that happens, I like to have my ego tagging along. I'd like to still be me when I wake up one fine morning and have breakfast at Tiffany's. You need a glass. Rusty?
Yeah, darling?
Fix my friend a drink.
Scotch, neat.
Yep. Take him. It's hard to stir.
Or slow. Oh, boy, slow without a name. It's a little inconvenient his not having a name, then I have any right to give him one if he belongs to somebody.
How did he come to be your roommate? Anyway, he doesn't look like a lesbian.
We just sort of took up by the river one day. He's independent, and so am I.
It doesn't take much to own a cat. You just feed him and he's yours.
No, I don't want to own anything until I know the place where he and things belong together. But I don't know where that is just yet. But I know what it feels like.
Tell me.
It's like Tiffany's.
The breakfast joint?
Yes, there. You know those days when you've got the mean reds?
Are they the same as the blues?
No, the blues are because you're getting fat and when it's been raining too long. You're sad, that's all. The mean reds are horrible. You're afraid and you sweat like hell and you don't know what you're afraid of. Except that something bad is going to happen, but you don't know what it is yet. You've had that feeling.
So often.
Well, what I've found does the most good is to just get in a taxi and go to Tiffany's. It calms me down right away. The quietness, and the proud look of it. Nothing very bad could happen to you there. Not with those kind men in their nice suits and the smell of silver and alligator wallets. I thought maybe after the war, Fred and I went to Mexico once. It's a wonderful country for raising horses. Fred's good with horses.
What's this?
Don't be an idiot, it's nothing.
Tell me about it.
Rusty.
Oh, well. I'm hungry! It's 7:30 and I'm hungry. You know what the doctor said?
I know what the doctor said.
Let's go!
I want you to behave, Rusty.
You don't love me.
Nobody loves naughtiness.
Do you love me?
Tend to your chores, Rusty. And when I'm ready, we'll go eat wherever you want.
Chinatown.
That doesn't mean sweet and sour spare ribs, you know what the doctor said?
All right, all right.
You don't love them, do you?
You can make yourself love anybody.
Holly, no,
Oh, crap.
What's that?
Holly, you miserable hoarder, hogging all these simply riveting men.
Were you invited?
Was anybody? Oh, I was just upstairs working with Emilia. Christmas stuff for the bazaar. But you sound fast. Sugar, you boys not vexed at me for the buttoning on your party. Oh, I surely could. Make mine bourbon.
There isn't any.
I can hardly run in and get some.
Oh, I declare, let's not have a fuss. I'm happy with ammonia. Holly, honey. Well, don't you mock at me. I can introduce myself. I am Wildwood from Wildwood, Arkansas. That's hill country.
Oh, Jay Bergman, pleased to meet you. Maybe you've heard of me. If not, you've heard of some of my pictures. I'm reading where our grapes, a secret about Mr. Milton buys a town.
Let me get you that drink, honey. Drink's on me. Of course, you could be on me too if you want. Yeah!
I believe I saw your layout in last month's Vogue. In Charmeuse, what you, was it?
We saw each other at the Times while you expressed some interest in meeting Admiral Roger St. John.
Is everything all right?
Couldn't be better.
Who can tell me where is the John?
Oh, I'll take you there.
That won't be necessary. She knows where it is. She's been there before.
My, yes, I have. Well, this positive haze of men, I have gone giddy.
It's really very sad and so mysterious. I mean, you think it would show more. But then she looks healthy, so well clean. But that's the extraordinary part. I say, when you say she looked clean, but then I hear so many of these southern girls have the same trouble.
Now, who has my beverage?
You're diabolical.
Oh, I like you.
Don't you just love parties like this where everyone is so attractive? Hey, baby. Yeah, well, you couldn't get it up with a crane anyway. And your picture's sick. You. You know what's gonna happen to you? I'm going to march you over to the zoo and feed you to the yak!
When?
You. You're behind this Holly Goldmine. Holly as in Hollywood whore.
Don't be a bore. Get up from there. Oh, I'll be right there. Teen Angel Fred her in a taxi. She lives at the Winslow.
Sure.
Oh, no! Live bar to someone.
Region 457. Oh, yes,
Yes, but where will you be? Where shall I meet you?
Oh, let's go store. Catch a look at
Hey. Hey, oh, you'll be fine. And so will I. My 100 bruised companion saw me fitly into a sleepy morning. And the next morning, and the one after. Who is that?
Is this your apartment, Yvonne?
Oh, hello. hello.
I wonder, do I have the address correctly?
The address?
Correct, miss? Have I it?
I can't say for sure, but I suspect no.
I am so pleased to be meeting with you. I am Jose Barbajaiga, and may I have the pleasure of you?
You just call me Fred.
You are Fred?
As much as I'm anyone these days.
Pardon, my English.
Even in English, it's a puzzlement. I don't know why you're here.
I and my luggage are come to the apartment of, I am so sorry. Let me reminisce myself a moment. I lost the paper upon which I wrote the name. Festival Don't Like It.
Oh. Really?
Huh?
Holly, you're here to see.
Who is happy taking man? Senora Wilder.
Oh, yes. You've overshot the mark, I'm afraid.
I am contrite.
No. Down one floor.
Yes.
Here, I'll... The door is doubtless unlocked.
Oh, you. Well, there was Mag on the verge of pneumonia with a hangover up to here and the mean reds on top of it. You were supposed to evict her, Cheryl Rat.
I'm sorry. Abandonment was the theme of the evening, so it seems...
What's that?
I'm merely saying that I, too, was abandoned.
Oh, darling, how dreadful. By who?
How have you been these last few days?
God, it's a nightmarish business. God knows when it will end.
But if you ask me, I think you're lucky. At least there's one thing you can say for Rusty. He's an American.
Oh, bully for him.
Sugar, there is a war on.
And when it's over, you've seen the last of me, boy.
Oh, I don't feel that way. I'm proud of my country. The men in my family were great soldiers. There's a statue of Papa Daddy Wildwood smack in the middle of Wildwood. Only I could get used to the idea of marrying a Brazilian. And being a Brazilian myself. Well, it's such a canyon to cross. 6,000 miles. And not knowing the language?
Go to Berlin.
Why on earth would they be teaching people Portuguese? Isn't as though anyone spoke it. Oh, no. My only chance is to try and make Jose forget politics and become an American. It's such a useless thing for a man to want to be. The president of Brazil. I must be madly in love. If you saw us together, do you think I'm madly in love?
Hard to say. How does he look naked?
Holly, I am a very, very, very conventional person.
Oh, balls. As if you didn't want to look at him, he's getting a pretty cold plate of macaroni. You can't possibly be in love with him.
I am a warm-hearted person. That's the basis of my character. Do you realize that I've knitted 10 pairs of argos? This is the second sweater. Sweaters in Brazil. I ought to be making sun helmets.
It's gotta be winter sometimes.
Well, I know it rains. Rain, heat, jungles.
Heat and jungle. I'd like that.
Well, better you than me.
Yeah. Better me than you.
And so they were a foursome. Occasionally I made it a fivesome, but mostly when I wasn't at work. Oh, right, I got a job. The coffers finally empty. I found myself toiling as a slavey in a magazine that was lousy with prestige. And those of us that work there just plain, well, in the warehouse when I wasn't at the office, assassinating my youth, I immured myself in my quarters and wrote, they dance.
You're quite a drink of water.
Boy, you are some kind of a man. Woo!
Is this, would you say, a typical gathering of Americans?
Yes, darling, this is exactly how Americans are. In seaport towns and way up in the mountains and down in the hard-scrabble south, everyone dances, dances, dances. It's the national character.
Thank you for the information. What's your opinion of Mussolini?
Well, I'm just a simple girl from Arkansas, and I don't know a thing about politics, but I will say this. The fascists have a lot more style than the Democrats. You find that overseas.
You're a vixen.
Well, brown is the new black. Oh, pink is the navy blue of India.
Your accent, it is different from Mag, is it not?
Oh, yes, darling, worlds apart.
I study this. I have Mag help me to learn the English of the people.
Now, I simply adore Mag and would never let another person say a word against her, but don't do that.
Oh, then perhaps you will help. I can study under you.
And you will help me with my Portuguese.
Is that of interest?
Oh, I adore Brazil. It's always been my dream to live there.
Very good. We will make the exchange. Oh, I'm having a marvelous time.
Your English, Jose.
Yes.
Improving.
Oh, yes. It had to. Before, hell, rotten. Now I have 5 tutors.
That's impressive.
Well, I must learn if I am to be a diplomat and then... Who knows?
The president of Brazil.
Who knows? This is the American century. How fortunate I am to have found myself in the company of such representative American types. Meg,
Sugar?
in the new year, why do we not, the 4 of us, vacation somewhere?
Holly?
Fine by me.
To study the American out of its native habitat.
Obviously, during these dark days, I kept a journal. Obviously, it was excruciating. Time continues to pass without meaning. My days are riddled with anxiety, failure, poverty, hunger, almost Russian in their dark, soul-scuppering hopelessness. There was a disturbing episode in the supply room at work this week. I found Q waiting there. Apparently he thought I... You do not need to hear this. Holly. How I wish I could write about her. But I'm still comfortable only with what's over and settled, and there's a quality about H that suggests she will never belong to the past. She shimmers with events, with the promise of next things. God knows that's what I need for something at long last to happen. And it did. Holly! Holly! Holly!
My God, what a racket, what gives?
My story is being published.
Oh, Fred, how marvelous. Dinner at 21 paid off, did it?
What?
Oh, you didn't think I mistook that scene for the raptures of first love?
I thought you didn't see me.
Discretion at work, darling. I'm told when the old married one's latched onto a pretty boy, you just want to say, oh, shut up and stick it somewhere, will ya?
I don't know what you're talking about.
All right.
Anyway, this is
And this is when you're rolling in the green and you finally quit that soul-mangling job of yours?
Oh, it doesn't pay money.
Don't do it.
No, you don't understand.
I know a rookie mistake when I see one.
No, it's a very high-toned journal. This is how everybody started. Hemingway and Sherwood Anderson and Thornton Wilder. All of us. You see, be happy for me.
No, I am. Darling, I am. You know what you should do? You should throw away the day like so much trash. Just pick somebody up, get blotto, make it clamor in the streets, and steal things.
Yes! I want to. What are you doing today?
Oh. Fred, darling, I'm buying you lunch.
What's more, it was October. If it were possible, I'd go to one of those movies about prep school where it's October, and October, and October, and she leaves him for a few minutes, it's November, and then it goes back to being October. We hithered and yawned, the light, swift, amber, granular day. We ate, we drank, we stole, These. I'm always meaning to make 4 restitution of Woolworths now that I can afford it 26 cents. Then we found ourselves on the Brooklyn Bridge, together in the slowing, mellow evening, God, quiet, city struck, so lovely an hour that even Miss Holiday Golightly, traveling, paused to wonder about things.
Talk to me about yourself.
About me?
Yes.
Why?
So as to make quiet go away.
My Dickensian childhood, for example.
Stop there, why not?
I told her my Dickensian childhood. Southern Gothic, they call it now. Our oddness and rapture and neglect. Remember, I was a young man. I was wooing her with misery. Oh, I expected her cold gaze to melt and those defensive arms to be flung around my neck. For how could she resist the wounded and tender and deserving fellow I was showing myself to be?
Well, that certainly took the fizz out of the evening.
I didn't intend it to.
What did you intend?
I thought that story might sound familiar to you. I had this idea that you'd somehow lived it yourself.
Sorry, darling, I know that your sweet cliche of a heart puts me down as a weight, but it wasn't that way at all. Oh, my parents were nice and scatty, and there was plenty of food and twinkling lights. Oh, and in the winter, the pond would freeze over, and we would skate on it and eat baked potatoes wrapped in foil.
And you never went anywhere without your 2 best friends, Lady Diana Manners and Rebecca of Sunnybrook Farm.
Oh, do you know Becky Keldrift?
What about leaving home at 14?
All right, that part's true and the other wasn't, but my God, who could compete with your tale of woe you told in more time than it took to live it?
Not so silly.
What is this, darling? Junior year abroad?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Those gentlemen are in uniform. Why aren't you?
Asthma runs in my family.
And it ran right past you, didn't it? Fred, darling, lie to me if you have to, but don't lie to yourself.
I'm not just one thing. I contain multitudes.
Well, I am just one thing, and young men of limited means and unlimited confusion have no part in it.
Who does? Rusty Trawler?
What have you got against Rusty?
What do you love about him? His treasonous politics?
Well, it's not like we've seen you at the USO trials.
That's deflective.
What is this about, really, Fred? Well, it can't be simple distaste for poor dear Rusty.
Poor dear Rusty is an amoral cretin, with no doubt predilections for violent amusements I don't even want to think about. Doubtless, under your soigné ensembles, you are concealing scars from a raft of playful batteries.
I can assure you I am not, and stop acting the role of some angry, disappointed suitor. Oh, stop pretending something you're not. Stop pretending.
Oh, Holly Golightly, what a conventional woman you are.
What?
What a phony, what a pretender.
Darling.
Why did we come to the city if all of our categories are intact?
I knew you had too much wine at lunch. I thought to stop you, but you were so charming.
Not too much.
Yes.
Not enough. Listen. My story is being published.
I know
And
that.
the night is exquisite and something needs to be done about it.
Fred.
I don't want jobs in cubbyholes, in dry cleaning plans, and counting pennies, and definitions, and saving up for whatever catastrophe is about to drop. I want this moment. In this moment. Look around you. How gorgeous it is, and you are equal to it, and we have found each other, so why must this be brought to a halt? Because you are, and I'm not. That's
Fred,
nonsense.
listen to me,
It's-
listen to me, and listen closely. Listen to me. You are a neighbor that I'm fond of, and that's as close to a friend as I can afford to have right now. So don't go wrecking it with these feelings you are so intent on having. No good will come of them. I have plans, and you're not to them. If you want to console yourself for the last evening, you might try doing it with that. No need to worry about abandoning me either. I'm a girl who knows how to handle herself on a bridge.
Let's just go home. All right?
All right? Idiot.
November was not brief and did not give me a second October. I don't remember December except that it was listless and hopeless, and I was largely drunk, and Christmas came, and of course Holly had a party.
Darling, you look like hell.
I aspire to go.
I saw your story in the magazine.
Oh, that was you?
I thought it looked very handsome, printed up real, select all sorts of things. I have something that might cheer you. Don't move. For you, Monon.
Holly! This is dreadful.
Well, I know. You prefer lusting after so.
No, it's magnificent, but the cost.
Oh, just a few extra trips to the loo. Just promise me you'll never put a living thing in it. Swear.
I swear. All I got you is this.
Fred, darling.
It's Saint Christopher, patron saint of travelers.
I shall treasure it always.
No, I've lost it by Saturday.
But till then.
It's from Tiffany's.
Entertain the hordes for me, will you, darling? This girl's got to pack.
They went to Cuba. They returned. Joyous reunion. Bad ending.
Well, first of all, we were in Key West, and Rusty got mad at some sailors, or vice versa. Anyway, he'll be in a spine brace the rest of his life. Dearest Mag ended up in the hospital too. First degree sunburn. Disgusting. All blisters and citronella. We couldn't stand the smell of her, so Jose and I went to Havana. Of course, when we got back to Key West, Mag was positive I had spent the entire time sleeping with Jose. Well, so was Rusty, but he didn't care about that. He just wanted to know the details. Actually, things were pretty tense until I had a heart-to-heart with Meg.
And you convinced her?
Got it.
How?
Simple, really. I told her I was a lesbian.
She didn't believe that. She couldn't.
She's sleeping on a cot now.
You're stupendous.
I suppose I am. I'll be a darling, and rub some oil on my back. OJ's in town.
Oh.
I gave him your story in the magazine.
Uh-huh.
He was quite impressed.
Was he?
He thinks maybe you're worth helping.
Oh my, like the poor.
But he says that you're on the wrong track. Negroes and children, who cares?
Not Mr. Berman, I take it.
Well, I agree with him. I read that story twice. Trembling leaves, description. It doesn't mean anything.
Something that means something, in your opinion.
What
wuthering heights. But that is pure unexampled genius. You can't expect...
Well, it was, wasn't it? My wild, sweet Kathy. I tried to fuck it. I saw it 10 times.
The movie.
Everybody has to feel superior to somebody, but it is customary to present a little proof before you take the privilege.
I don't compare myself to you or Berman, therefore I can't feel superior. We want different things.
Yeah, well, don't you want to make money?
I haven't planned that far.
Well, that's how your story sounds, so you've written it without knowing the end. Well, I'll tell you, you'd better make money. You have an expensive imagination. Not everyone's going to buy you bird cages.
Oh, how funny. I had not realized that the bird cage was made of money. Or that I was somehow its equivalent in dollars, but one time only or something. I thought somehow with some kind of expression. I'm so sorry.
You will be if you hit me.
Hit you?
You wanted to a minute ago. I can feel it in your hand, and you want to now. Oh, I shouldn't give in. You'll regret it if you do.
No, I wouldn't regret that. I'm only sorry that you wasted your money on me. Rusty Charlotte is too hard a way of earning
Oh,
it.
people who live in glass whorehouses.
I've never sunk to the level of...
It should take you 4 seconds to walk from here to the door. I'll give you 2.
Oh, look at you. Sola, perduta, abbandonata. So, maybe now you will sign my petition? I have drafted it in the cause of evicting the whore, Polycolati. These are the grounds. Moral iniquity, behavior inappropriate to a building over 50 years of age, inhuman and detestable noise, the harboring of vagrants, and general destruction of peace of mind. Perhaps you have charges of your own you'd like to add in this room.
No, those are ample.
Va bene, you sign.
No.
Ah, bambini, bambini.
My Happy New Year inventory. Unfriended, a job that smothered me, a writing life too stagnant to be called a career, and as if all that wasn't enough, I was being cruised by the farmer in the dell. It was gradual, like becoming aware you had a mouse. First a nameless disquiet, and then sounds, and then the creature itself hove into view. I thought, this man wants me? Do I look that bad? Youth is often mistaken for a panoply of other qualities. Beauty, hunger, availability, but the mingled aromas of sweat and tobacco and decrepitude have never been my cult of venereal action. And as this man and I stared at each other in the mirror that ran the length of the counter, I thought, excuse me, but what do you want?
Son, I need a friend.
Yeah, I thought as much. I'm sorry. I'm not going
Take a
to
look.
do that.
Take a look. That's me. That's Lula May. That's her brother, Fred.
My God, you are Holly's father.
No, son, I'm not her father.
Then,
I'm her husband. Dr. Clarke. Pleased to make your acquaintance.